day, and that you can hear me and that you can see this stream as well. If you can quickly let me know, then let's jump into these charts and let's see how they're going to move here after hours and what we can expect in the days and weeks to come for these stocks. So first one here that we'll go over, actually we'll do a split screen. Let's cut this in half. Let's keep Dell on the left side of our chart, currently trading at 94.7. So we can expect a lot of volatility here. As always, I'm not here to immediately, at the moment of earnings, take a trade. I would rather have price action develop, even for a short scalp here. We need to see at least, I would say, 2 or 3 5-minute candles develop before we can take an educated guess whether we're going higher, and we're looking for long scalps or vice versa. So with that being said, let's move these two charts on here, and let's go to a lower time frame to kind of just witness the earnings volatility here. Good. So first thing what I want to do here for a second is on a 4-hour time frame kind of see where are we right now. So Dell is currently at a resistance 94.99, so $95. If we can get above 95 with these earnings, let's see. We've been going up. These are in fact all-time highs from what I see. So very bullish chart, right? Very bullish chart overall. $95 all-time high, and that's where we're currently hitting resistance at. So let's see if we can settle above that and then maybe make our way to the triple digits, right? Very simple. You break 95 all-time highs, you're looking at $100, I would say. So let's go to the lower time frame for now. Just going to keep on that white line there. And I know for many of these earnings streams with Bull and Lee, a lot is like, we take a look at these numbers as well, but I'm here first and foremost to see the price action and to see if we can get a move out of this. So the resistance for Dell, 94.99, currently above that, but as I said, we need a couple of 5-minute candles here after market close to see if this is going to be a real move or whether they're going to quickly reject this and then maybe send it back down to a support lower down. So for now, holding off, and the equivalent resistance here on HPE that we're facing, at least from what I can see here in the short term, is 1522. So currently trading at 1521. That is the level for HPE that we need to get above. This is not at all-time highs as Dell. So let's see on the weekly time frame. Yeah, this is just, well, not at all-time high. So the left chart is definitely the more bullish chart, but a ticker like this, I am quite interested to see how they are going to react off of their earnings, right? This HPE chart, for example, you see this could become a double bottom, higher low before we start grinding our way up to levels such as 1575, 1610. Let's see. So Dell is probably being, there's something probably being set right now for it, but if we're going to settle above 95, then 95 is a good level if you're interested to watch for a retest, but let's give it a couple of 5-minute candles before we take any decisions here. I see that you've joined as well, TK and Stussy. Welcome, champion nets. I will take a look at the SOUN in a second as well. Just for now, I want to stick with Dell for a moment. So breaking that resistance, let's see if over the next couple of 5-minute candles we can come back down to this red line and then form something like this. So that's really what we would be interested in, is a move back into this level, something like this, and then holding it, creating a higher low here, and then that gives a nice opportunity to basically shoot again for the highs or the stop under these lows. If it just goes higher straight away, then we'll know more in a couple of 5-minute candles. Definitely something that you wouldn't want to be shorting here. against all-time highs, because this can very easily run to $100 here. I'm here to watch Dell burn. I mean, for moral support. Well, I wasn't actually aware of the fact that Dell is at all-time highs, so that is in and of itself very, very bullish. Let's see here if we can get some red candles to close back into our red line here. And let's see HPE seeing a huge sell-off. This is why we're here, right, guys, to kind of witness that huge earnings volatility together. First thing that I want to do here, focus on the right chart for a moment and see. So this is interesting. That's that double bottom potential, sweeping the low here. Let's see. This is the low that we need to get back above immediately if this is going to be any kind of bullish. If this is a fake out, then we need to get back above 1471 here ASAP. Otherwise, and I see that we're already doing so. Let's see. So huge candlesticks, right? To the downside here for HPE and to the upside for Dell. So there you go. There's that $100 that we were talking about. See that? That's a huge move. That is like at this point, this would be yeah, I was gonna say something for a short scalp after seeing like a huge move like that, but again, very bullish against all-time highs. So there was no resistance after 95. So really, this is what I wanted, right? The break above the red line, then coming back to it, and then shooting up to 100 and so on. But that's fine, right? At this point, let's just let the volatility settle a little bit, and I'll draw a level here at 97, which is the high from the previous 5-minute candlestick. Now we can look for something like this. But again, this is now squeezing above $100. That doesn't make it a good buy here. This can easily, just as easily as you just saw it fly above 100, it can just as easily nuke back down below 100, and this all be a huge fake out. That is possible. So, but let's see, right? From 95 to 100, that psychological $5 move. That's a 5% move all the way to the high. It just moved this candle about 15-16%. HPE doing the inverse opposite, and I'll have a look in about 5 minutes or so if I can get the numbers for us guys for the earnings itself. But I find the price action more important here. So getting below 1471 for HPE, that could, and I'm just going to quickly put this a little bit to the left on Dell. I want to zoom out here for a moment on Hewlett on HP, and let's see where this could fall down to in the event of a further sell-off. So I'll draw a level at 1435. That is potentially support, but if that doesn't hold, then we're heading below 14 here already. So 1391, right? That is a level where I'm personally interested for a long scalp, for example. Why? Because a lot of people will have stops below $14. You get them out and then a huge move back up. So at this point, and all of this is very relevant also for our normal trading session tomorrow, right? Because this earnings move is going to create a gap. So wherever we closed here earlier today at market close, to wherever we're going to open tomorrow after this earnings move, that is going to leave behind a big gap. And that is relevant information because typically you can then play it back in the gap. But really doing the absolute opposite here, Dell and HPE. And let's see, 1435, this thing wicked off 1434. So yeah, these FIB levels, for people that are going to be following and basically doing the coaching sessions in the premium section with me, we're going to really spend a lot of time with making sure that our FIBs are right, because they give us a huge edge as to where to look, right? I'm going to monitor this on a lower time frame for a second. So let's see. And looks like Dell is going for it again. And again, with all-time highs, the problem for shorts is also you have no clue where to expect resistance. You have nowhere to place your stop loss because there quite literally is no resistance yet. So let's zoom out here for a second on the 4-hour. This is making all-time highs here in style, I would say. Let me quickly take some fibs here on this chart as well to kind of see how far this is, where we could be expecting resistance. So let's add in the 2 fib here. That would suggest resistance at 215.13. This would be something to look for. A squeeze into 115.13, closing a 5-minute candle back below, stop on the high, and then targeting a little short back down to fill this green candle. But definitely not to go short on the way up. That's an impeccable move, really, and very, very, very interesting to see basically the opposite, the yin and the yang here on the left and the right. HPE, I'm very much looking at 1391 here. 1391 being the 1618 fib from our previous swing. That's probably a level where we're going to see some kind of reaction back above 14. But it's, of course, monitor that as we approach it. So really, knowing where to look already is an edge, right? 1391 in terms of support here, 115.13 in terms of resistance there. Yes, Stussy. Honestly, man, while you said I'm here to watch Dell burn, I thought to myself, well, they're doing pretty good here at all-time high. So it's not really the time to watch them burn, but we'll see. I'm more so also interested in HPE and to see if we are going to be able to catch some support. But this is very likely at this point headed down below $14. We're already breaking that 1272 fib here. So the next order of business is our 1618 down there. I'm going to quickly check Twitter, you guys, to see if I can paste any specific numbers already in here. Let's see if anybody is talking about it. Scheduled to report, blah, blah, blah. I'm never the first to get these numbers out, but I'll just be monitoring the price action here rather. Because after having a couple of 5-minute candles printed, right, it becomes possible to look at the potential trade setup. I really don't like Dell. They both Alienware way back, and I originally didn't like them. So just more, yeah. Well, that is something to absolutely like your personal opinion about the company, right? That is something, in my opinion, to completely separate from the trading itself. Because I agree with you, right? Many of these companies, I mean, hell, just a couple of weeks ago, I got into a tobacco company, like a cigarette company, and you could say, well, that's really not supporting the good cause. Well, as a trader, it all doesn't matter. It's very much not about the ticker. So all these candlesticks and just the name behind it, that creates attachment, and attachment is not really very productive as a trader. As an investor, it makes more sense with your preferences and so on. You want to put your money in something that you believe in. But for a quick move here somewhere, no preferences. This is interesting for HPE. So we're wicking below the low of the previous 5-minute candlestick, but we're looking to close back above it at this fib level as well. So there is some buying interest at 1435. It's going to be below 14.2. I would imagine an easy move back down below 14. So that would really be the move here. But if we're not going to close below 1435, this can easily make a couple of green candlesticks here. Maybe come back up, right? Just an educated guess. Maybe come back up, test 1471. That's the support level from our previous bottom, before then ultimately turning that into resistance and then making that move down lower, right? So a mistake is also to think that after a big red candle, the first bounce is a good swing trade. Nope. that first bounce is probably not a good swing trade. It's probably just a small first bounce. Before then, another one of those red candlesticks to a lower level of support. And then and there, you can start looking and thinking about swinging it back up into the gap from earnings and then ultimately up again if you're interested in HPE. This is so we basically have a huge fair value gap here for Dell after hours on this 5-minute candle, all the way from let's see, 97 to 108. So that's $11 of fair value gap. It's very likely that we're going to fall back into this and then make our way up higher. Or we could go higher first and then make our way back into this fair value gap. But anyways, it's very likely that we're going to that we are going to get to that again. So let me just take a fib here maybe to kind of give us again an educated guess as to where to look for that higher low and that bounce up to 115 and so on. Let's see, HPE stock is stumbling after a steep decline in revenue. So steep decline in revenue, let's see. Typically when I click here on earnings, it should give me the number, but it's not updated yet. But okay, we know that there's a steep decline in revenue and that, well, obviously we're seeing a sell-off. I'm going to add in the 382 fib here and let's see. Those are some levels where we could be expecting about. I would also imagine, right, a lot of people see something like this. It is very bullish, but to buy the top of that and to break out it when it's already up there, then the question becomes, where do these people set their stop loss? And I think as we have just broken a very important psychological level at $100, right? I would assume that a lot of people are going to be long on this with a stop loss below 100. And so that becomes a good level to look for these people to basically get kicked out of the market before then a move back into the hundreds. This is kind of the main scenario here for HPE, right? If you don't close below the low of the last candle and we're on that support here, something like this to 1471, now at 1452, and then more down. But just making some scenarios here. So after a big move down, expect a bit of a retracement back up. After a big move up, expect at least a little bit of a retracement back down. It's and again, these candlesticks, they're always so tempting. They are basically built to make you believe that it only goes down or it only goes up, and they're built to lure you in. But you typically always get a retracement of some sort. So that's a nice move here, at least a good green candlestick from that support, 160. Back to that level. I would really imagine that we're going to hit 1471 again. And like that would be my prime idea. Why? Because this is a level of support, right? We've just broken it and the chart likes to come back to it to solidify that level now as a level of resistance. So that's what I'm looking for. I see Nikki's also joined. What's up, Nikki? Good to see you in here. Let's see, anything else on the earnings calendar? TK, you were giving us a suggestion there at SOUN. Let's see, right? We can put three things next to each other then. We can have Dell with our retracement fibs. We can have HP with our 1471 level there that we're looking at, and then potentially lower down. And let's take a look at SOUN. If you're mentioning something, TK, then I know it's probably seen a very big move because you're aware of what big moves are from crypto. I know that. Let's go to extended trading hours here, guys, and let's see where this is coming to. So at this point, I'm just going to zoom out here for a moment, right? On the 1 hour time frame, that's looking obviously bearish. We're headed for this low here at 5.9. And there's something else coming in here. Dell beats fourth quarter revenue estimates, signaling PC market recovery. So that is obviously positive news. And the green candlestick could have told us that, right? Just as this red candlestick could have told us that HPE is facing more difficult times. So this SoundHound stuff, right? This is heading for 5.9. We're now at, let's see on a lower time frame where we're at, 6.21. So in my opinion, this is probably going to also make a lower high here and then come down lower. So what I would like to see is a squeeze into 670 there, something like that, getting above this level and then showing a wick or a bearish candlestick to take it back down. And this is something that I'm very, very interested in long-term positioning on this, basically, right? And I've said this in Titan trading as well, but things like Fetch AI, Pal AI, those are crypto coins. And I've literally said my investment thesis on this is that AI is in the name. It's very simple these days. SoundHound AI has AI in the name. That makes it interesting to me. It's really not more complicated than that. When the market is going in what we would call retard mode, you just join. So let's see if we could get the rejection from around here. If not, then this is going to squeeze back up into 720 to 740 there. That is an immediate short-term bearish reaction at least. See if this is all a fake out. It's going to put this on the right, this here in the middle. So HPE, in my opinion, looks the best for at least that short-term little move up. This is consolidating, that's fine, but after consolidation, right, in my opinion, after a big candlestick like that leaves behind an $11 fair value gap, it's now consolidating, but it's basically, in my opinion, tricking people into doing things too early. If you're shorting here, you're early because you haven't hit that resistance at that 115 yet, that 250. If you're longing here, you're also too early because it's very likely to come back into this gap. So this consolidation where nothing is happening, this is where people are taking positions that are suboptimal, both long and short. So there's nothing else that you can do than to just observe and to prepare where are you looking for resistance, what are the potential support levels. So kind of doing what I was expecting this SoundHound to do, at least for now, right? So the low from here with the squiggly lines, I've seen this stuff, well, literally every day of the year I see this stuff. So and previously I've also seen things like that, and you see a green candlestick and you're like, yeah, it's going back up. This is a good buy now. And then the moment you buy, you basically buy the top of that little bounce up before they send it lower. So I'm not interested until we get to lower, or if we start to basically turn current levels of resistance into support. That would also be good, obviously. So for now, what do we know? Dell better than expected, HPE worse than expected, and SoundHound and NVIDIA invested into SoundHound. I mean, that is those are very, very good reasons to keep this high on our watch. I'm going to keep it on the watch list here as well. But that's good. That's good with these AI things. And the thing is, people like to buy when prices are high, but nobody's interested if we're going to get to some discounts here. I'm very interested in SoundHound, like very, very, very interested. This really fits criteria for me that I like to see in an asset that I'm looking to invest in. It's, for one, it's an uptrend, so I'm playing with the trend. For two, It's in the AI related sector. I believe that is still absolutely not done. And 3, yeah, it has it's a fairly cheap stock that you can get a good position in. So really, this is something that I would like to see here for SoundHound. Maybe testing that previous stop there, 425, right? That would be awesome if we could get 425s again for SoundHound, get below that, make another higher low, and then go up. Basically, just following what it has been doing here on a 4-hour time frame, right? Just low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, make another higher low, test the previous stop. Like this are some squiggly lines, but this would be basically the investment thesis for me on SoundHound. So I'm just going to place a longer term level there on this 425. That is, sorry, 448. I was mistaken. 448, so 450. Instead of getting way too like swayed by short-term volatility, it makes sense to come to a chart and to basically say, where would you like to get in, instead of just going on a 5-minute here. But we can do that. So for now, this is really playing out according to the squiggly line scenario, right? So we are rejecting from the low from the previous 5-minute candlestick for now. Still looking bearish up to me. Let's go back to the 1 hour here and mark out this level. And then we have all our levels, 590 and then 450, 450s for me. So let's see how big of a discount we're looking at for Sound. That would be a 30% discount, you guys. Really, someone who buys today, my thesis would be that ultimately they're right and their investment will probably pay off. But I'm not willing to sit a month, 2 months in that, and to basically look at a P&L that is red for the time being. That's not the way that I like to approach things. I don't like to spend even weeks in a position. Like things really, they need to move in my favor, like straight away. So for now, 2 more cents, and then we got our move on HPE, right, to 1471. The move back into that previous low. So for now, this is kind of doing as we said it would, right? So there's that move. It's nice. It's only after getting back below 1471 right now that it becomes then likely that this next leg down triggers. As long as it goes up, it's more likely to keep going. So that 1435 level really was at least a very good short-term bounce opportunity. But as I said previously, right, that short-term bounce at first after a big move down, this is now where a lot of people think this is the swing entry, while it's more likely to come back down, actually, to take everybody out with stop losses below that low and then to reverse back up. SoundHound, this is a nice move here, right? From that level, 6% back down. Quick movers, very much reminds me of crypto, like the way that this trades, the moves that this makes, the percentages on just a 5-minute candle here consistently. 11% down, 7% back up, 5% back down. So I'm going to have my level there, 450. It looks like HPE wants actually more than that 1471. So I got more out of that than 1471. At this point, right, if it gets, I would say, above 15.3 here, then we're starting to confirm that all of this is just a big fake out, and that we actually want to go up higher regardless of short-term earnings volatility and results. And that also often happens, right? But getting back below 1471 here would be, and this is already the point where people who are buying, who have bought this, who pressed the long button in the 1490s are sweating immediately. Like, let's maybe add one more thing on our chart here, just for my completeness sake. Let's see what is the kind of the volume that is coming into. Sorry, that's not. Let's see what is the volume that is coming into these stickers. SoundHound AI 4Q revenue boosted by mysterious chip maker. Mysterious chip maker, is that the reference to NVIDIA maybe? This is something that over the next few days or weeks, depending on when it happens, but when we see 450, I'm in. I'm gonna play around that level. Dell fiscal Q4 non-GAAP EPS increases, net revenue drops, raises annual dividend, shares jump after hours. We've seen that. So let's see, in terms of volume. So around 280,000 shares, 180,000. So yeah, between 180 and 280,000 shares coming in per 5 minutes here for a $6 stock. You can, the way that you would kind of like, this is not super important, but I'm just interested sometimes to know. If I take a calculator, I'm looking, right, just a second. Looking over this candlestick, for example, 276,000 shares exchanging hands. So 276,000 times the closing price of this candlestick would be the amount of money that's involved in that candlestick. That's, again, it's not super important, but I always like to know where the most amount of money is going and rolling. So it's like if you just look, right, let's say, for example, 180,000 shares of a $7 stock at that point here. And here we have 115,000 shares of a $100 stock. So you can know that there's exponentially more, at least, money that's coming into Dell here, which is normal. NVIDIA invested into SoundHound, like you said already. But I mean, from where we were trading here, right, as I've said, after having a couple of 5-minute candlesticks develop, right, this one, then this one, this candlestick failing to close below of this one, it's on that level of on that fib. At that point here, our bias was clearly run back to 1471. So the fact that we're going higher, that's good, I guess. Getting this back below 1471 with a 5-minute close, and I would say that's likely to come back down. But as long as it does not close back below 1471, then there's nothing to fight here trying to find a short position. This was the nicer short, the option here. So the squeeze into the low of this candlestick on that candlestick, right? And then back down. That's beautiful. And let's move this out. So for Dell, all this consolidation, like I've said, it's tricking people to taking positions here that both long and short are suboptimal. What I am looking for at this point, at least in my mind, is so scenarios, right? A squeeze into 115.13, getting back below that probably triggers a sell-off into this fair value gap. That's wrong if you then get above the high that is made there. Other scenario, this goes down, gets below 105, holds 105, traded back to 110. That's wrong, below the low made below 105. Or another scenario, you get that bigger move down, where people get bearish again to sweep the stops below $100, maybe even below $99. Then the moment it comes out at the other side again, so the moment it gets below 100, sweeps 100, sweeps 99, then the moment it gets back above 100, that's your signal that the stop losses are taken. You go long, you trade to 105, 110, and you put a stop loss below the low made below 99 there, or 100. So just scenarios, right? That's a scenario, that's a scenario, that's a scenario. This right here is also just a scenario, right? Get back below 1471 for a further sell-off. As long as that's not happening, I mean, the short-term bull bias here It's working out very well. Let's see, from around this candlestick, when I said it's obvious that we're going higher, that's a couple of percent move, 3%. And then for SoundHound, right, the main scenario is over the next few days, the teleportation back down to 450, and then the teleportation back up. Something like that. Again, just scenarios, and I'm going to confirm and see if price action is basically following my scenarios. I'm not going to hope, and it's not because I'm drawing lines on the chart that the chart has to follow that. Obviously, that's not how it works. But it's basically these scenarios to me. It's a visual aid of what I'm looking for. It basically helps me. Like it's a visual aid. Like this is what I want to see. So let's stick around here for another 5 to 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna call it quits. I have a stream coming up with Duck in just 15 minutes. So I hope to see you guys all there. Most of you are premium, I'm sure. So it's gonna be good as well. Let's see, HP Enterprise 1Q revenue drops on server, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you're interested in all these news articles, you can go to Google and read that up, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to see these candlesticks move and to basically practice the art of reading it. That is my interest. So SoundHound, this is, I would say, out of these 3 stocks that are on my screen here now, I am personally the most interested in the one to the right. It's the more speculative thing, but well, if I'm looking for something to 2x my money or to 3x my money, can Dell do that? Yeah, it can do that. It can go to $200 or $300, but it's probably not going to happen for a while. Something like SoundHound, can that 2x or 3x? Yes. And then especially if it goes lower first, right? The lower it goes, then the easier it becomes to get your 2x again. And HP, this hasn't been really on my radar. It's not that I'm terribly interested in the company, but I'll keep it on my watch list nonetheless. Let's see. So this is the point where things start to just consolidate, and you see, like, and this is what we always get with these earnings, right? You get that big move, that defining move, and then the consolidation. So really, my suggestion, if anything, if you're interested to trade a ticker that have just had its earnings, then you go and check at 4 p.m. where that closed today. And basically tomorrow when it gaps up or gaps down, you're referring to that gap, and that's something that you can work with. Super beginner question. When do these stock prices go into effect for stuff like options? I would guess that is a very good question, but I don't think it's a beginner question. At least I don't know the answer to it. The reality is I don't trade options. I don't understand. I don't compute, and I just play the equity. That means just long short on the stock itself. I don't play options, but I know that Nikki or TK or Stussy, maybe one of you can could help our champion here in the chat to answer that question, because I wouldn't be sure, to be honest. So I would say, I've been talking about levels for 40 minutes, Nikki, but I don't think that's the question. No, 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 no. Of course, no, of course, of course. Yeah. Hmm. I hope that answers the question. Also, thanks for the clarification, Nikki. I hope that helps to you, Cairo. And if not, make sure to be present in the free section in the free chat. Tag Nikki or ask it there again. And Stussy, I see that you're also answering options. Blah blah. Yeah, good. Well, anyways, in terms of price action here, like I said, it is at this point we're just going sideways, right? For Dell, that's already 5, 10, 15. It's more than half an hour where this has not produced anything for neither longs or shorts. So just keep my scenarios here on the chart for maybe a bit later or for tomorrow. HP still doing its thing, also just going sideways at this point. This is not a good long entry anymore, in my opinion. That was from down here when it was not reaching 1471 yet. And Soundhound, I mean, the same exact thing as with Dell at this point. We're already, well, 10, 20, 30 minutes just going sideways. Ultimately, also, I'm not convinced to take any long positions here quite yet. I'd like to see another wave down and then a bigger move back up, essentially. So maybe now the earnings are updated as well here on TradingView. Let's quickly take a look. Earnings for Dell, 27.5% positive surprise. Revenue also more than estimated. Not by much, but still $150 million. That's it's a lot of money, right? In the bigger picture here of Dell, with with a 22 more than a $22 billion revenue. It's not a lot, 150 million percentage wise, but still that's very healthy, of course, to have that extra on the side. Then let's see HP earnings, a 7% positive surprise, but the revenue coming in. Um, this is again just from a revenue perspective, Dell looking way, way, way healthier. Sorry to say it's Stussy, but looking way healthier than HP here, right? 333 million, 5% less revenue than estimated. That's quite the opposite. So and then let's see Soundhound. This has oh, that's nice to see, actually 25% negative surprise on earnings, as well as $600,000 um, lower revenue than estimated. But that's great. I mean, this is what I would hope, like from someone who's like interested to get into SoundHound AI. I'd rather have some negative earnings and see this come down a little bit over the next coming days and weeks, rather than it's all just great and we go up and you get to buy above $10. Like I'd rather buy from lower. So that's good. Love to see it. So really mixed here, right? Dell all positive for now, SoundHound all negative, and then HP. I would say this is a $333 million hole. That's not all too sexy, basically. But yeah, with that being said, I hope that the guidance here and just going over these 3 tickers together, marking out levels. If you got into a little scalp here, for example, on HP from to that 1471, or if you still have something going, that's awesome. But really, the main goal with this is to just calmly look at price action together and to make just a plan for the days to come as well. I'm personally going to pay the most attention to the one on the right here. Just I'm kind of the speculative type, so that's what I'll be sticking with. With that being said, I hope to see you guys here in the Discord. Join my next stream in just 15 minutes with Duck. As to see, you're still gonna avoid DELL. And TK, you're talking about Bitcoin. I'll look at Bitcoin tonight during in a few hours. It's been a wild week for crypto, that's for sure. With that being said, I'm going to end the StreamYard recording. Thanks everyone for tuning into YouTube as well, if you've been watching it. And we do these every single week. We go over the earnings, different analysts talking about different tickers every single week. So make sure to stick around because it's good content, right? I'm going to end the stream.